Hey guys, it is your girl, ATL Insurance Chick. I am Nicole Gibbs. I run and operate TNG Insurance Services here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a small boutique insurance agency that I started back in 2018. And I wanted to kind of get from behind the post and kind of let you see who I am, what I do, all that good stuff. So, ciao Bella. Look it up if you don't know what it means. So let's jump right into it. Today, I want to really talk about how much do you really know about auto insurance. All you know is you don't want to pay that much money for auto insurance. Because people who are good drivers, you don't want to pay that much. So there is always, when I worked at State Farm, my background is in State Farm. I worked for State Farm for about 5 years, and I'm grateful for State Farm because I learned a whole lot from that experience, and I think that's why I just absolutely love what I do. First of all, insurance wasn't my thing. When I got into insurance, that's when I learned about it. And it's crazy how like some parents, they make their kids pay for their auto insurance when they're teenagers and things like that. I didn't have those issues. And it enabled me to just not really think about it. So when I got into it, I was just intrigued. Like, first of all, I never thought I would be the insurance lady. Okay, that's the first thing. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Want to talk about what you need to kind of consider when you are shopping for auto insurance. It's not just about finding the cheapest rate. It's really about going with a company that is going to provide you with great coverage. It also is knowing that the insurance agent that you are dealing with is going to look out for your best interest and not just try to sell you stuff. So the first thing that you need to know when you are shopping for insurance is, this is a great infographic that I actually got from Pinterest. So we're going to jump around, and I have actually more, visuals that you could actually look at to see exactly and follow me along the way. But the first thing that you need to understand when it comes to auto insurance is how much is enough. A lot of people are just okay with the basic coverage, which is 25 / 50 / 25. When you see that, that is your liability coverage. And your liability basically covers if you were to cause the accident and injure people in the car, you are going to be held liable. Point blank, period. So if you're 16 years old and you just got your driver's license and you're in Atlanta, Georgia, your mom is going to make sure that you want to get more than 25, 50, 25. That is the state minimum basic coverage that most states require insurers to have. And it's not enough coverage. The reason it's not enough coverage is because if you live in a very high populated city and there's traffic all the time, and you get into a car accident and you cause the accident, and it's a 5 or 6 car pileup, but you are at the back of the line and you caused the accident. So let's just say you ran into the back of the person in front of you, and the person in front of you ran into that person, but you were the culprit. Knock on wood. God forbid that's not your issue. So no texting, no driving, no looking off the road, no talking on the phone hardly in Atlanta, because it's 6, 7, 8 lanes. And it's just hard to be doing all of that while you're driving amongst all these different types of people and drivers. So your liability coverage is the coverage that you want to make sure that you get enough of, especially if you have a lot of assets. So if you have a business, or if you have a nice home, or if you have a lot of things, you don't want to get the bare minimum. And most people who understand how insurance works, they get more than the state minimum limits. So your insurance agent should make sure that you get at least the minimum. So it's different tiers. So you got the 25, 50, 25, and I'm going to explain all of those numbers. And then you have the 50, 100, 50. That's like the second tier. And then you have the third tier, which is 100, 300, 100. So I'm gonna break those numbers down for you because I don't think anyone has ever explained what liability limits are. Basically, in one sentence, it is what the injury lawyers are coming after. Okay, so you get in a car accident and you hurt someone. The first number that 25 or 50 or $100,000 represent, and these are in thousand increments. So 25,000, that very first number in front of that slant when you're buying auto insurance is your liability amount that would be paid to the person in the car that you hit. That person would get up to $25,000 in medical bills or anything like that. So if they're hurt and the injuries or the cost of their hospital stay or whatever is up to 25,000, you're good. But if there's more people in the car, that second number represents how much money the insurance company is going to pay towards all of the injury for the people in the car. So if it's 25, 50, 25, which is the first tier or the first level, it's not enough coverage. $50,000 for 4 people in a car that became injured is just not enough money. And that's when you run the risk of being sued for their medical bills. So you always want to make sure that you have more than enough coverage when it comes to liability. Now that last number behind that slant is your property damage. 25, 50, 25 is not enough because people are riding around here in Maybachs. People are riding around, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's where my agency is based. You got Teslas, you got Audis, you got AMGs, you got all these expensive different type cars that are like $80,000, $90,000, you know. So if the car is that amount and you only have $25,000 in property damage, you're going to be on the hook if that car is seriously damaged. So you always want to make sure that you take care of that. It covers the repairs of the other person's property. That's basically what your property damage is. So you understand what liability is. The next thing I want to talk about is your comprehensive and collision coverage. So comprehensive, this is how I used to explain it to my customers when I worked with State Farm. Comprehensive coverage basically is when a deer runs into your car, a tree falls on the top of your car, let's just see, natural related damages, if it floods and your car gets flooded out, any type thing like that. Someone steals your car, that's what comprehensive is. Now the comprehensive coverage has a deductible or a price that you have to pay to the insurance company if you were to file a claim with them. Comprehensive coverage does not go against you when it comes to your MVR. A lot of people don't know what their motor vehicle report looks like. That's what your MVR is. LexisNexis is who a lot of insurance company uses. And if you need that information, we can sit down and talk about that. I can provide that for you. But LexisNexis basically kind of reports to the insurance company your risk and also reports your driving record. So with comprehensive, you want to make sure that your deductible is a decent deductible. We always used to say the higher the deductible, the lower the premium. So if your deductible, normally deductibles start at $250, they go up to $500, and they go up to $1,000, and then they go up to $2,000. So if you were to file a claim on your insurance with your insurance company, and it's a comprehensive situation, and your deductible is $2,000, the insurance company is not going to fix your car until you pay that $2,000. A lot of people choose a higher deductible because it does make the insurance cheaper, but sometimes it can be a detriment to the person, especially if it's a young person. A lot of young people, millennials, you know, get anybody 25 and younger, especially for a male, you get a high deductible and you get in a car accident, you may not be able to get your car fixed if you choose a high deductible. Also remember, if you're 25 and under and you're a male and you get like a Mustang or some type of fast car, Maserati or something like that. Like when I was with State Farm, I was insuring, you know, 16-year-olds with Land Rovers and Bentleys. So, you know, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast living out here. But anyway, so that's why I'm overly cautious when it comes to auto insurance, and the protection that you need for yourself and from people that have possessions that you may not be able to pay for out of your own pocket. So that's what the auto insurance should take care of. So if you're a young male and you're 25 and under, getting any type of fast sports car is going to drive your premium higher. Males are always going to be higher than females because what actuaries, that's what they're called. Actuaries actually determine prices when it comes to insurance premiums. So what they do is they take the law of average and they say, okay, how many, and when I tell you they intricately break it down, it's like they break it down to like the TTT. Like if how many people that was driving a 2010 Honda got into car accidents and how old were they? And they look at that number and they base the premium based on the car, based on the person that's driving it. So I noticed like when I was insuring the electronic cars, they were always higher than the regular vehicles. And I couldn't figure out why. But then as I started to kind of do more research, I realized that the electronic cars cost more to fix. So they're always higher. Males 25 and under are always higher. You have speeding tickets, you have any at-fault accidents that you have basically created, your rates are going to be a little bit higher. Now, that kind of segues into the collision. Collision also has a deductible associated with it. And remember, the deductible is the amount that you pay to the insurance company if you file a claim. The collision coverage covers you and your vehicle. So if your collision deductible is $1,000 and you cause an accident, whatever repairs need to be done to your car, you're going to have to pay that deductible for that, for your vehicle to be repaired. Collision claims do go against you, and some companies do 3 to 5 years. They hold it against you, so they can charge you a higher premium. So always think about higher deductible, lower premium. Bodily injury, we already talked about that under comprehensive. Some other things you want to remember about comprehensive coverage is uninsured motorist is kind of like a newer term that insurance companies kind of incorporated into their policies maybe 10, 15 years ago. And what the uninsured motorist coverage does, you ever notice you see like a UMPD, that's uninsured motorist property damage, and UMBI is uninsured motorist bodily injury. And what that is just basically if someone hits him. So this is what comprehensive is supposed to cover: your the things that you didn't do to your car. That's what comprehensive is supposed to cover. However, some people are not honest, and there's a lot of insurance fraud going on. If you go to like Georgia Department of Insurance, you actually see online the people that kind of commit fraud when it comes to auto, home, all these other things. So what insurance companies said was, okay, we're going to incorporate the uninsured motorist coverage. That way, if somebody files a claim, there'll be a deductible attached to it. And they won't get away with it. It's kind of like, okay, we're going to file it under here. So I had to use my uninsured motorist coverage because I was in a car accident where I was in a 3 pileup car. I was the first car, there was a car in the middle, and then there was the car behind us that ran into the second car behind me, and then the second car behind me ran into me. And it wasn't that much damage. I didn't get hurt, thank God. However, the third person rode off, did not stay for the police to come and take statements, none of that. So in that event, that's when you file an uninsured motorist claim. It's a $250 deductible. And 9 times out of 10, most companies, what they do is they take the deductible from the amount that they're going to pay you to get your car fixed. So a lot of companies do that. And I think it's a good thing because you don't have to actually come out of your pocket. So comprehensive covers everything I told you about as far as that's concerned. Uninsured motorists and even med pay or medical payments actually come under the comprehensive coverage. Remember, comprehensive doesn't go against you. So with MedPay, if your insurance agent says, hey, are you interested in getting medical payments? And you're like, nah, I don't want that. I want my rates to be low. This is another opportunity for you to get an additional benefit on your auto policy, and you may not have to pay that much for it. So let's just say something happens where you're getting out your car, you're not paying attention, you got a bunch of groceries in your hand, and you slam your trunk down and your finger gets slammed in the trunk. You actually could go to the doctor. It's no charge, and your insurance company, if the injury is like, let's just say $565. If the injury is $565, you can go to the doctor free of charge and use your medical payments for that, and the insurance company will pay for that. So anything related around being injured in the car without another person, and it's just you get out the car and somebody comes up and just slams the door on your leg. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of different things people use medical payments for, and that's one of them. But that basically is covered under medical payments. So that's comprehensive. With collision is basically everything I told you as far as your car is concerned. Personal injury protection is also called PIP, is for medical bills in some states. So like Florida is totally different from some of the other states when it comes to auto insurance. They basically require their insurers just to have like a PIP coverage and a property damage coverage. They don't really require them to have the liability and the collision like a lot of people. Well, no state really makes you have collision, but you have to have collision if you're making payments on your car. So whoever your car loan people are, they're going to make sure that you have comprehensive and collision. So then in the event, if the car is totaled out, you actually could take care of everything without anything owed to the company because you weren't properly insured. So it's like you have to have collision coverage if you have a new car. Some other things that you want to consider when you are getting auto insurance is rental reimbursement. Some companies actually offer that. I'm with Progressive. That's one of my carriers that I work with. And I got a lot going on here. Okay, so Progressive actually has the rental reimbursement. You rent a car while your car is being repaired as part of a comprehensive or collision claim. Some companies do $40 a day, $100 a day, and they take care of that for you. Some of them also make you pay up front and then they reimburse you. It just depends on what company you're with. Roadside assistance, this is big. The reason why roadside assistance is big is because if your car were to stall on 285 and you needed help with a flat tire, or you needed gas, or you needed a battery jump off, or you needed towing for up to maybe 25 to 50 miles, that's what roadside assistance costs. And it's like $2 or $3 a month, if that. So I always tell people to make sure that they get their roadside assistance. Another benefit or coverage that Progressive offers is the loan or lease payoff. So I tell a lot of people, like, some people call me from the actual dealership when they're buying cars, and I tell them you don't have to buy gap insurance because with Progressive, they actually offer that. So what they'll do is if your vehicle is declared a total loss, Progressive will pay up to 25% over the actual cash value towards any additional loan or lease amount that you owe to the lender. So that's something that you definitely want to think about. Another benefit that actually comes with car insurance is it's called hospital income. What I used to do when I worked with State Farm, hospital income was something that I went to because it's something that you can kind of like just tack on, and it's a great benefit to have because it's something that you always have with your car insurance. You don't have to pay extra for anything at work or anything like that. But with the coronavirus, I'm going to do a separate health video, but the hospital income actually would take care of your hospital stay for you up to a certain amount. So in the US, 36.5 million hospital stays annually with an average length of 4.5 days. That's how many people are in the hospital. The hospital income basically is called hospital indemnity insurance. It pays a cash benefit for each day you're in the hospital. The coverage is very flexible. You can choose the number of days that you want, and the cash benefit amount per day normally starts at $100 and goes to $600. So, and it's like in increments of 25. So within $100 to $600, you actually can get that amount of money per day. Many of my customers took advantage of that. So if anyone offers that to you as an agent, I definitely suggest you take it, especially being that we're going through this pandemic where people are being hospitalized and in the hospital for more than 2-3 months or up to 2 to 3 months. This is a great coverage. Not only does it take care of your hospital stay, it doesn't pay it to the hospital, it pays it to you in cash. So this could take care of any deductibles that you may have as far as your health insurance is concerned. This could take care of parking, food, anything like that. So that's something you want to think about when it comes to auto insurance. You can tack that on. Another thing that you want to also think about is, we talked about emergency roadside assistance, rental coverage. There's this thing called accidental death that a lot of companies offer on the life insurance side. And I can't remember if I finished my thought about basically when you choose a insurance company and you're shopping for auto, stick with the companies that are good at auto insurance. Don't be trying to go to AAA and get auto insurance. You know, that's a benefit company. That's not an auto company. Don't be trying to go to, I don't know, I can't think of any other thing else, because I use this statement a lot when I'm talking about life. I don't think life insurance people should buy life insurance from State Farm, only because it's the underwriting is strenuous and you could be denied, where you could be approved at another company that actually deals in that field. So life insurance companies that deal in life, and that's it, you're going to get a better advantage, you're going to get more benefits, and you may get some leniency. But with a car insurance company, you may not get that same respect. Okay, put some respect on my name. Okay, I just had to throw that in. I don't know why. So yeah, so those are some things that you definitely want to think about when you are shopping for insurance. I like this particular, I find all of these little different infographics on Pinterest, and they just kind of just break it down so effortlessly. The thing that I definitely wanted you to look at with this is what is not covered. A lot of people get insurance mistaken with warranty. Car insurance does not take care of normal wear and tear. It does not take care of any type of breakdowns. It does not take care of damage to or by a person driving any vehicles or cars without a valid license. So when you allow someone to drive your car, some companies take care of it, some don't. Allstate, State Farm, Progressive. If the person is your child and you tell them to go to the store and grab something and they have a valid license, they may cover it. But VLOX or American General may not. Damage to a person driving the vehicle under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Some companies cover that, some don't. You just have to make sure these are some of the questions that you ask. Loss, damage due to a war or nuclear risk or something. That's kind of far-fetched, but just know exactly what your car insurance actually covers. I wanted to do this last question because I get a lot of questions in my DM about certain instances, and I can never give a definitive answer because insurance is like hypothetical. So if it were to happen, the underwriters would consider certain things. So you take a job delivering pizza for extra money and cause an accident while on a delivery. Will your insurance pay? Great question. So working with the two companies that I've worked with, your insurance company will pay, because it doesn't matter that you're dropping off pizza. If the car is insured, I always tell people the car is insured, not the person. So if the vehicle is insured and all you're doing is dropping off pizza. You're not running a side hustle. You're not running a business. It's not ride share or, you know, any of those Uber or Lyft type jobs. You're just dropping off some pizza. Nobody's in the car with you. Your insurance will pay. Now, you may be tagged because, or it may go on your license or your MVR, your motor vehicle report. It may go on that. However, your insurance company will pay. So I thought that was cute. I thought it was fun. Just think about the car. Anytime you have insurance and the car is in an accident or something happens to the car is insured, not the person. So that's basically all I have today. You could always hit me up at atlinsurancechick at gmail.com if you have quotes. You can also go to, let's share. I want to definitely take you to my website really quickly before we get out of here. My website, I'm not an Apple girl, y'all, so bear with me. Where's my Chrome? There it goes. So my website basically has a lot of helpful resources and information. Consultations are always free. I think it's important for people to understand that they should consider doing some type of financial review with their insurance agent at least once a year, because things change. You may get married, or you may, oh, I don't like the way this looks on here. I just see some things I need to change. Okay, so let's go to services. So here's where you get all the resources that you may need. Auto insurance. Here is where you could actually get a quote. If you have any questions about the coverage or anything that I just spoke about, you can go to the website under the services tab, and it'll kind of break everything down for you when it comes to everything we just talked about. So hit me up if you have any questions. I am always available. I am always available for consultations, and quotes are always free.